What's up everybody? Welcome to Dante Boxing Nation. Subscribe below and let's get straight to it. So according to Conor McGregor, he feels like that he actually could beat Floyd Mayweather in a rematch. How? Only God knows. Because he already been in the square circle with him, so he knows what time it is. And Floyd Mayweather took this fight so lightly that the whole week before the fight and after the weigh-in and after the fight, he went to his strip club and stayed there for like 4 to 5 hours. You know, when he could have been resting, training, or whatever. And don't tell me he was doing that to promote his club. Of course he was doing that to promote his club too, but at the same time, you ain't gonna be spending that much time before your fight in a strip club if you really worried about your opponent. That's how lightly he took Conor McGregor. And Conor McGregor knows that. So for you to say that you think you could beat Floyd sound like a money grab to me, even though I don't understand it, because at the end of the day, you could fight Paulie and have a chance of winning, and you could sell up to 2 million pay-per-views because Paulie could talk the talk too now. But with Floyd, what you don't got nothing to say, and there is no selling point. The first time they fought, the selling point was Conor McGregor power, but now Conor McGregor landed a shot. It's not like he couldn't hit Floyd at all. He landed an uppercut in the first round with all his strength, and Floyd Mayweather ate it. And like I said, in the UFC, they fight with gloves that's like almost bare knuckles. So if you got a little power, you're gonna stand out in the UFC. But in boxing, you have to know how to throw right. You gotta actually hit your opponent and set your opponent up. And you're wearing a bigger glove, so you need to have a lot of power, like I said, to stand out. You know, so Conor McGregor really probably in boxing is a lighter puncher than Floyd. Floyd Mayweather is a harder puncher in boxing than Conor. Floyd Mayweather is a harder puncher, period. So if Floyd Mayweather go in the UFC, if he was in his prime, he'd probably knock cats right and left because he throws properly, and like I said, he get the right amount of leverage, and he's throwing with his speed and them smaller gloves. Imagine what kind of damage he will do in the UFC. Floyd probably be a Mike Tyson in the UFC, seeing how Conor McGregor punched when he was fighting Floyd with them boxing gloves on, you know. So the selling points for that fight are no longer there because the power is no longer there, you know. That's a fluke. We know Conor can't knock out Floyd. The awkwardness of his style that he kept talking about, we seen that that's not a problem for Floyd Mayweather. And we also seen that Conor McGregor had all the advantages, and still Floyd Mayweather came out on top. Like, Conor was 26 pounds bigger. Even the legal shot when he caught Floyd to the body, like Skip always liked to say, oh, he hurt Floyd to the body, even though the replay showed it was a low blow. That didn't hurt him because he recovered right after that and started beating on Conor again. So what could Conor do different to win the fight? I mean, you gotta understand, Floyd Mayweather don't even fight the way he fought Conor. Even when he applies pressure, he don't leave himself that open. Because look at when he fought Canelo Alvarez, when Canelo caught him with a stiff jab in the 4th round, I think. Floyd Mayweather right away, to get the momentum back, he bobbed and weaved and got in the inside and threw like 4 punch combination, and then got out, then threw like 4 more punches, a jab in the right hand, then another right, and caught Canelo with most of them punches. Now, if he really cared and took Conor that serious because he's 26 pounds bigger than him and he this hard of a puncher, don't you think he would have bobbed and weaved his way to the inside? But nah, the reason why he just tried to block all the shots is because he wanted to gas Conor McGregor out, and also to give the fans a good fight and fool the casual fans, because the casual fans don't know what they're looking at while he's doing damage to the body and breaking his opponent down. You know, he's killing 2 birds with 1 stone. And he even said it in the Brooklyn press tour when he was telling the fans, I like y'all. all y'all do is put money in my bank account. Basically, that's what he said, and he looked like he got stuck after that because he didn't want to say that. It just came out, because that's basically what it was. It was a highway robbery. That's why he was wearing a mask when he first walked into the ring versus Conor, because he basically robbed the bank in that fight. And Conor McGregor, his pride all hurt because, like I said, he the one who said he's gonna put his foot in the middle of the ring and he's not gonna make a step backward. But Floyd Mayweather didn't just make him back up; he knocked him out, in an entertaining fashion, And he let Conor throw a couple punches, and most of them punches weren't even effective. Even the couple jabs he landed, Conor was pushing with his punches, but they weren't damaging. They were pushing Floyd Mayweather's head back because he was, like I said, pushing with his jab instead of snapping it. So Conor McGregor needed to go ahead and just accept his defeat and just accept the fact that Floyd Mayweather made him eat his words, because quit being silly. If Floyd Mayweather was 50 years old, he still beat Conor McGregor. I don't care if he's 26 pounds bigger than him. Whatever the case might be, Floyd Mayweather still beat Conor McGregor. And Paulie said it best. Floyd Mayweather didn't go in there try to outbox the man. He wasn't even cutting off the ring. He wasn't moving his head, bobbing and weaving while he was pressuring him. None of that. Because at the end of the day, he just basically, he bullied the man. He outmanned him. And that's the thing. Like, Floyd Mayweather didn't even have to show his skill. And Conor McGregor keep mentioning the fact that he kept taking Floyd Mayweather back, and if it was a real fight, he'd be done with. And I'm like, of course, but this is not a real fight. It's a boxing match under certain rules. You cannot do that. That's why Floyd is letting you do that. You think if it's a street fight, Floyd Mayweather gonna let you take his back like that? Quit being silly again. Like I said before, when you see Lomachenko doing the same thing Conor was doing to Floyd, the difference, Lomachenko doesn't grab you by your waist and fist you upside your head. You know what I'm saying? That's the difference. Conor will take an angle on Floyd and you know what I mean? He will slide to the right. However, he knows Floyd Mayweather gonna turn around and steal him with the right hand. So what he will do, he will hold Floyd Mayweather by his waist with his right hand and punch with his left hand by throwing hammer fists. He wouldn't even throw real punches. So you keep telling me you kept taking his back. He's not worried about you taking his back, because at the end of the day, you're not supposed to. If you're gonna take that angle on him, you're supposed to punch off that angle. Throw a couple left hands, couple uppercuts off that angle. Don't hammer fist him upside the head. You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, Conor McGregor knew what time it was, but he was frustrated. He had to do things outside of the box, try to see if it would work, but it didn't. So to each your zone. Now Conor, you could fight Nate Diaz. That's most likely the next fight for him. However, you got Khabib in the UFC. You got Paulie Malignaggi in boxing. I think that's the best fight for him and the biggest fight for him, to be honest. But if you want to go ahead and take the hard and real right, go ahead and fight Tony Ferguson if he wins his next fight. And Conor is good in the UFC, It's just the fact that he tried to make it seem like when he came to the boxing ring, he was so limited because of the rule set, when in fact, that's how you fight. You don't even like to go on the ground. You don't even like to kick like that. Most of your kicks are ineffective. Your spinning kicks and all that, most of them are ineffective. You're really just effective with your hands. And in the UFC, they're just so open for headshots because they got to worry about everything, such as, taking them down, kicks and all that. So they so open for left hands and power shots, and that's what you're taking advantage of. So don't try to make it seem like you're on the same skill set as Floyd, because I wish Floyd Mayweather fought Conor 100%, because he would have seen what kind of level Floyd Mayweather is on. And hey, if you want to get tested in the boxing ring by a guy who's in his prime, not 40 years old, and you keep saying boxing is not as hard as the UFC and is an easy sport, it's like a half-man sport, go ahead and fight Errol Spence. I bet you won't last 2 rounds. Let's see you survive at least a round with Errol Spence. So if that's the case, but we already know what time it is. You already know. So go ahead and subscribe below if you want to get smarter by the minute. If you want to get dumber by the second, don't listen to these casual ass fans. And peace out.